I'm here to tell you that there are towns across the U.S. that cost less, offer more peace and quiet, and still give you everything you want for your retirement. If you've considered the usual suspects, Florida, the Carolinas, Arizona, and still haven't found the perfect retirement town for you, in this video I'm going to talk about 5 towns that are flying under the radar that may just be the perfect fit. But don't just take my word for it. The reason that these 5 towns even landed on my radar is because of what the people who live there were saying about them. Their comments encouraged me to check these places out and dig a little deeper. First up is Fort Smith, Arkansas. A few years ago, Fort Smith took the #1 spot on WalletHub's list of most affordable places to retire in the U.S. This historic city and military town is located on the border of Arkansas and Oklahoma. Fort Smith's cost of living is lower than the national average. Affordable housing options are available here. According to Zillow, the median home value is around $190,000. On top of that, Arkansas does not tax Social Security. Property taxes are among the lowest in the U.S., but its sales tax is generally high. If you don't know it, Fort Smith is home to the Ozark Mountains, giving outdoor enthusiasts lots of hiking trails, fishing spots, and picturesque landscapes. And the wildlife is abundant here. If art and culture is more your vibe, you'll appreciate the thriving art scene here, with lots of art galleries and music events. The downtown offers lots of shops and restaurants, and there are lots of parks and recreational centers to keep you engaged. If you're looking for more to do and explore, Little Rock, the capital and the largest city of Arkansas, is about a 3-hour drive away from Fort Smith. And Fayetteville, Rogers, and Bentonville are all about an hour's drive away. You do get all 4 seasons in Fort Smith. Winters are chilly but not unbearable, with average highs in the low 40s and overnight lows in the 20s and 30s. Summers are hot and humid, with temperatures running around 90 degrees, but on average the highs are around the mid-80s. Fort Smith does get dinged for crime, though. According to Neighborhood Scout, you have a 1 in 96 chance of being involved in a violent crime, and you have a 1 in 24 chance of being a victim of theft, robbery, or burglary. Both of these stats are well above the state of Arkansas's average and the national average. Fort Smith does pride itself on its healthcare facilities, which include 2 major hospital systems that provide comprehensive medical services. Some of those that live in Fort Smith say that Fort Smith has a small town feel with a lot of working class people, and it's nice in that way. Another person said Fort Smith is honestly the biggest small town you'll ever live in. It's big enough that we have things to do and places to eat, but small enough that you can get anywhere in 20 minutes. Next up is Deer Park, Washington. What residents really enjoy about Deer Park is its rural look and feel. One resident described it as typical small-town America. Evergreen trees cover the landscape, and snow-capped mountains are part of the view. Deer Park itself is a small town with just over 4,000 people. But when you take into account the zip code it falls in, the entire area includes around 10,000 people. Residents seem to agree that the area has a slow pace of life, and it is quiet. But when you need some activity, some culture, some hustle and bustle, Spokane, the 2nd largest city in the state of Washington, is less than a half an hour away. Deer Park is very scenic, with lots of farms mixed in with pine trees and plenty of lakes. The landscape provides lots of outdoor activities. There are skiing opportunities and a 27-hole golf course. If you're a person who enjoys all 4 seasons, then you're lucky because Deer Park gets a taste of them all. The winters are cold and snowy, the summers are dry and warm. And the fall and spring are the perfect transitional periods. The average high in winter is 61 degrees and the average high in summer is around 90 degrees. Crime is relatively low in Deer Park. According to Neighborhood Scout, you have a 1 in 816 chance of being involved in a violent crime. And you have a 1 in 84 chance of being a victim of theft, burglary, or robbery. Both of these stats are below the state of Washington's average and the national average. Healthcare in Deer Park gives you options, including a local clinic that provides primary and urgent care services. But with Spokane nearby, residents often do head into the city for broader medical needs. I am finding conflicting information on home values in Deer Park. For instance, Zillow says that the average home value is $475,000, while Realtor.com says $425,000. If you happen to live there or know somebody who does and can shed a little light on that, comment below. It'd be interesting to see which one is right. Or maybe none of them is right. One person says if you're after a small town quiet feel, then Deer Park is worth exploring. Plus, this particular person felt that it was very affordable. One person said, "We moved to Deer Park 6 months ago. We love it in Deer Park. We moved from the San Francisco Bay Area. We have our dream house in a beautiful neighborhood. life moves slower in Deer Park. Now let's talk about Winchester, Virginia. Forbes actually named Winchester a top retirement destination in 2025. It ranked within the top 25 because of its affordability and its quality of life. But the reason I'm including in today's video is because the people who reside there really talked it up online. One thing they noted was Winchester's low property taxes. That's also bolstered by the state of Virginia not taxing Social Security, estates, or inheritances. Winchester has its own hospital system anchored by the Winchester Medical Center, and it has a lot of primary care doctors. Connectivity was another plus for residents that they noted, with major airports being close by and even Amtrak being nearby. And residents appreciate having Washington, D.C. just 90 minutes away, so they can take a day or a weekend and enjoy some culture and attractions. But residents say there's also plenty of things to do within Winchester itself. Since Winchester is nestled in the Shenandoah Valley, the Blue Ridge and Allegheny Ranges are pretty much on your doorstep. And not only that, but there's also the Appalachian Trail, tons of Civil War history, and a pedestrian mall in the heart of downtown. Forbes noted that the median home value here is around $382,000, which is 5% below the national average. And the crime rate is relatively low. According to Neighborhood Scout, you have a 1 in 321 chance of being involved in a violent crime. And you have a 1 in 40 chance of being a victim of burglary, theft, or robbery. And the area has a moderate climate. The coldest month of the year in Winchester is January, and the temperatures average then around 26 degrees for a low. The hottest month is July, with the average high temperature being around 87 degrees. Residents also talked about the gated communities in Winchester that offer a retiree pretty much anything that they could possibly want. And in their opinion, it's all available on the cheap. How are you feeling about these spots so far? If these have stirred up some possibilities in your retirement search, then keep watching. I've got 2 more to talk about that may appeal to you. Let's talk about Decorah, Iowa. In the northeast corner of Iowa is Decorah. It's a town defined by rolling hills, limestone bluffs, and scenic river valleys. World Atlas included it as part of its list of perfect retirement towns in Iowa. It was included mostly because of its affordability, but also because of its inviting ambiance. And HGTV selected it as one of its 50 most charming towns in America. So what's so special about it? Residents say there's a lot to love about Decorah. There's lots of shopping and dining options, and the river valley environment allows for some great outdoor activities. There's hiking and biking, cross-country skiing, and just getting out for your casual country drive to enjoy the scenery. Decorah does experience distinct seasons, with cold winters and warm summers. The average high in winter is around 32 degrees, and the average low is around 9 degrees. And during summer, the average highs are in the mid-80s. You can find comprehensive health services here at the Gunderson Clinic, which provides a range of medical specialties. There's also the WinMed Medical Center and a VA clinic. Cost of living in Decorah is lower than the national average, but a bit higher than the state of Iowa. According to Zillow, the average median home value is around $300,000. Crime is low in Decorah. According to Neighborhood Scout, you have a 1 in 583 chance of being involved in a violent crime, and a 1 in 361 chance of being a victim of theft, robbery, or burglary. Both of these stats are well below the state of Iowa's average and below the national average. If you're in need of some city life to get your blood pumping, Des Moines and Minneapolis are just 3 hours away, and Chicago and St. Louis are 5 to 6 hours away. One resident says there are great golf courses here, coffee shops are everywhere, and there are 3 nationally ranked microbreweries in Decorah. Next up, Columbia, Missouri. One resident described Columbia as a very nice, smaller Midwest city. Another said, "We really do have a remarkable quality of life here compared to most places in the nation." Forbes named it one of 25 best places to retire in 2024. It made that list because of its affordability and its access to quality healthcare. Residents also point out that Columbia has lots of shops and restaurants, several golf courses, and pretty much every major box store. It is known as a college town, so it has plenty of athletic events, art exhibitions, and festivals. As one person pointed out, downtown is geared toward the students, but in general, the area has a lot of fun and entertainment options. And there's a lot of culture. If you happen to be a theater buff, one resident pointed out that there's probably about 10 regional theaters within 40 miles. The population is around 120,000. Cost of living is considered affordable, depending on who you talk to, of course. And the environment here is tax-friendly, with no Social Security tax or estate tax. According to Zillow, the median home value is around $319,000. Crime rates in Columbia are average. When Forbes named it to its top 25 list, it did ding it for its higher than average crime rates. According to Neighborhood Scout, you have a 1 in 250 chance of being involved in a violent crime, and you have a 1 in 37 chance of being a victim of theft, burglary, or robbery. Healthcare in Colombia is strong. It has among the highest physician to citizen ratio in the nation. It is home to the largest academic health system, and there are 2 other larger hospitals in the area as well as smaller private hospitals. St. Louis and Kansas City are about 2 hours away if you want to see a big concert or a Broadway show on tour. Columbia does have a regional airport, but with St. Louis being nearby, you can easily fly in and out of there. I think one resident put it perfectly when he said, Columbia doesn't have the best of anything, but more importantly, it doesn't have the worst of anything. Whether it's the small town charm of Decorah or the scenic views of Deer Park, the key is matching the town to what matters most to you. You don't have to settle for the same old retirement towns that everyone's talking about. You don't have to pick the most popular one. Your choice may just be the one that's waiting for you to discover it. If you are considering buying a house in any of these areas or anywhere else around the country, and you need to be connected to an agent in the area that you're considering, I offer a free service that can help match you with that agent. Scan the QR code here or click on the link down below. Fill out the form and I'll get back to you with an agent in your market. If this video helped give you some ideas for some alternative places for retirement, click the like button and maybe subscribe. And if Southwest Florida is your target retirement destination, Naples, Bonita Springs, Estero, and you'd like to work with myself and my team, my information is below. Call, text, email, and I'd be happy to help. If you're exploring the ins and outs of snowbird life and want to dig deeper into that, check out this next video. Thanks for joining me. I'm Alysia Shivers. Until next time.